cool. All right. Oh, that's interesting. It's funny, I updated OBS, and I'm just getting used to some of the changes inside of here. Kind of neat stuff. Oh. Anyhow, let's get going. So today, I am basically just going to be using Fresco just to draw some stuff for Halloween. So just some, little things here and there in terms of spooky stuff. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do quite yet. And I don't know what I'm going to use this for. It might be just for fun. But sometimes, right, things from these streams do wind up as items, right, inside of publications and so forth. So maybe that's what'll happen. Who knows? Anyhow, let me know how everyone's doing today. I see there are a few people here on the live stream. So, yeah, I've got the chat visible today as well, just right above my head there. So that is the chat for today's stream. And yeah, say hello. So I'm just using my pencil and my iPad here. And let's just kind of like do something, right? So something spooky. We want to do skulls. Maybe a skull would be fun, right? Let's see. So let's choose a brush. Start with some pixel brushes. Right now I got some pencils, or pencil rather. Just do a soft canvas. Oh, that's really nice. I love how pressure sensitive it is, right? So, of course, if you do like a little tiny bit of pressure, you get like that, right? Whereas if you press a little harder, and there you go, right? Anyway, let's undo all that because we don't need that there. So, yeah, it's a little big too. So I'll take that down. Yeah, so last week was Adobe Max. And generally, I haven't been to Adobe Max since 2018. I used to go all the time, but not so much anymore. Right. So I used to speak at Max. That hasn't happened in a while. And I don't know, it just got very big too, right? And it got so big that it was kind of a pain to, walk around, actually like locate people that you were trying to find, right? So like it lost a lot of its value for me because of that. But, I would do it again. And maybe next year, right? maybe next year. But it seems like those who did go had a lot of fun. And, you know, after being away from something like that for so long, I can imagine it would be nice to get back into it, right? So we have EDUCAUSE going on in this area. So I'm in the Denver Boulder area. EDUCAUSE is going on right now in Denver. And yeah, I was down there last night, actually. Not for EDUCAUSE, but for an Adobe event that was being put on as an evening event as part of EDUCAUSE. So, yeah, that was fun. I was able to go down and connect with a bunch of people. Some I've met before, others not I haven't, right? New people from Adobe. Maybe not necessarily new from Adobe, but you know what I mean. New people for me. It's always so hard to get these eyes correct. So I noticed one thing that Fresco mentions, right, in their notes for being a feature that may be coming soon is the ability to sort of mirror, right? That's pretty good. Sort of mirror, right, from one side to the next as you're sketching. Which of course would be really good, you know, for something like this where I just want to like turn on the eyes, or turn on that mirroring for my eyes. Or his eyes, really, not my eyes. Man, this pencil's nice. I really like this one. It's got a great feel to it. I can make some real nice thick strokes. A bit of pressure. Yeah, proportion, you know? Something. So I'm not seeing much of anything in the chat. You're all very quiet. It's Wednesday, right? Oops. It's way too thick. Wednesday. So I can understand. As we're going through here. Now this, you know, there's always stuff that we can do to correct mistakes, right? I need to lift his forehead. Close last. Oh yeah, do it. Just a little bit. I mean, this is stuff you really cannot do right with pen and paper. Again, feel free to post any thoughts in the chat. Let me know what you're all up to, how things are going on this autumnal Wednesday, yeah? So I stream on behalf of Adobe for Education, if you've never seen my streams before. And I've been doing this for, it's over 2 years now. So I've got a lot of replays out there, if you care to look. Yeah, I mean, additionally, right? Gosh, this looks weird. I don't know why this looks so strange. I'll blow that away. Just make this a little bit thicker. That's better. Yeah, so Adobe for Education, there is a small group of us, a handful, maybe 4 or 5. We stream regularly. Yeah, it's fun. But yeah, we are Adobe Education leaders, so we generally are, involved in education in some way, in some form. I stream on just about everything. It's really varied. Other people focus on certain things, certain sets of things. And I do these, right? Fresco. When I feel like I need just to chill out. When I just need to chill. Fresco is my go-to. Now, these cheekbones are massive, aren't they? I mean, as you go through and you draw stuff like this, it's like, yeah, you just gotta adapt to it. So like, something like this, it's like, okay, let's get these, oh gosh, these cheekbones in order. And like a bunch of emails or something. But yeah, hey. Right. Save that for later. Yeah, see? This is just too... There we go. That looks much better. See, as you go through, and I find this true, no matter what I'm actually doing something, and you make adjustments, right? As you kind of go through. And it helps to go lighter at first. And actually, I need to make additional adjustments here. This needs to be lower. I think I've got the proportion right. However, there we go. That's better. So yeah, this is stuff, gosh. I mean, I've done so much with like charcoals and pencil and things like that over the years, sketching. We're really, being able to just use, oops, got the wrong tool selected, cancel lasso. Being able to just like do something like erase, with my pencil right there is just fabulous, right? There we go. So just making, right, these little changes as we go through. And I mean, you can do this with paper and pencil too, right? You just kind of smudge and adapt and erase. And what the hell is that? Yeah, no. Let's fix that. That's fine. Maybe it's a little too... yeah. I think I extended that a little too much. So yeah, paste in the chat. It's right up there. Paste in the chat. I'll see it. Say hi. Let me know what you're up to. What your plans are. If you have plans for Halloween. So for Halloween, my plans are already set. As I said, I am professor at CU Boulder, University of Colorado Boulder, education leader. So I actually have a class that I'm teaching on Halloween evening, which is going to be interesting. It's a studio-based class, so it's like a big block of time, right? Once a week. It's going to be a little weird because, you know, I don't know how many of my students are actually going to show up on Halloween evening for my class. And honestly, like, this is a great group of students that I have. I wouldn't be surprised if they all just showed up. You know? Because they've been really good about that. Very different from some previous semesters, right? Where sometimes, you know, in a class like that, it can get tiresome, right? If you've got a big, like, it's almost a 3-hour block. It can get tiresome for students. It gets tiresome for anybody, right? Who has to be doing something like that for an extended period of time, and I understand that. But these students really seem on top of it, which is awesome. They seem to really want to be there and to do the work. I need to make this pencil a little bit smaller for some of these details. So it definitely helps with something like teeth, right? If you, like this part right here, right? The space between the teeth. Like, you might be like, oh yeah, gosh, I keep on activating the eraser somehow. I don't mean to. So like, usually, like, somebody might go like this, right? It works okay. I kind of find that it works better if you, right? You make the tooth and you complete the tooth. So going in and making that extra space right there, you know, really seems to help. Hey, Denisin from Brazil. Welcome. What time is it in Brazil where you are? So it's 9:17 a.m. in Mountain Time here, where I am in the United States of America. We have so many time zones in the US. I'm not sure how many you all have in Brazil, or if you only have one or two, but we've got so many, it's like ridiculous. And it's difficult to keep track, right? So for Adobe stuff, you know, we most of the time calculate all of that for Pacific time, because that's where Adobe's headquarters is, right? It's in California, in San Jose. So usually, if there's anything that we've got going on, right? It'll be calculated in that way. In Mountain Time, I'm just an hour away. Difference, rather. So, you know, an hour is not bad, right? That's easy to calculate. I can do that. I'm terrible at math. but I can calculate an hour. Hey, Reverb Mike is here. Hello. I hope you're well. Oops. Yeah, that's way too. I feel like. Oops. I feel like I do a lot of skulls on these streams. Reverb Mike, you've probably seen me make many skulls throughout the past couple of years. Let's see. I'm trying to count teeth here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, and 2 more. See, the angle really trips me up. Gotta be careful. Oh yeah, but I was saying I went to a event down in Denver yesterday. Saw some people that I haven't seen in like 4 or 5 years or so at this point. Which was cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. Look at the shadow tooth back here. Yeah, it was great. I was able to. Oh, it's weird. I don't like it. It's like I was saying, I was able to connect with a bunch of people. Well, not a bunch, but, you know, a suitable amount of people that I hadn't seen, I hadn't had contact with in quite a while. And yeah, San Jose, actually, Reverb Mike. I used to, you know, go to San Jose like every summer with these people, with other Adobe education leaders. It's always great. We haven't been able to do that, of course, in a while. The last time I was it San Jose? That might have been San Francisco, actually. The last time I was over in that area for an AEL event. That's Adobe Education Leader event. We're gonna remove that tooth right there. Look at this, I'm doing dentistry at 9:21 a.m. on a Wednesday. I'm not even a dentist, right? But I get to do dentistry because of Fresco. It's wonderful. Still not. I cannot get this jaw right for some reason. But you know, I mean, that's part of the process. Oops. No. It's all part of the process. But anyway, yeah, last night, it was packed in this little event I went to. They had, I mean, everybody was, it's been a while since I've been in a room with that many people in it. This is all so empty. We've heard Mike says, had to clean news anchor's teeth in Photoshop for billboard ads. Yeah, I'd imagine after doing that, you don't want to see teeth very much. And I also imagine that depending upon the news anchor, there would be more or less to clean up, right? You dominate me. Some of them might be more hygienically aware, hygienically active, than others. Teeth are hard, you know? Like, everybody usually says that, like, hands, human hands, are, like, the most difficult thing to draw, you know? Because they're very complex, right? And they have a nuance to them. I think teeth are also very difficult. I always have trouble with teeth, because I always end up making the... I mean, it looks like a bucktooth monstrosity right here. I'm not happy with these teeth, everybody. Oh, River Mike likes to draw hands. Yeah, I find if I keep them simple, then it works out a lot better. If I try to get more detailed, it becomes more of a chore to get things right. Kind of the same thing with teeth, actually. Let's do some shading on this thing. That always helps. Pop this guy up. Pretty heavy. I'm gonna start here. Whoopsie. Maybe I got that too big. Oh yeah, so in my class today, this afternoon, we're doing our second lecture on Adobe Substance 3D Stager, which I always have a lot of fun with. And actually, I'm planning on doing a bunch of Substance 3D streams in November. November's going to be Substance 3D month for me here. So that'll be fun. What I want to do is I want to better explore some of the applications in the Substance 3D suite that I am unfamiliar with. It's definitely one of the my takeaways from Adobe Max was you know, just how much I don't know about the different Substance apps. I mean, Stager, I've got down. You know, Stager's great. I love it because I use Dimension all the time, and they behave so similarly that it's pretty simple for me to use that particular application. But some of the others, yeah, Painter, Designer, Sampler, Modeler, not as up on those. So I am going to rectify that in November. On this stream. So if you are interested in learning or fumbling through these applications with me, then you are welcome to do so, of course. See that now the teeth look better, you know. A little bit of shading, you know, goes a long way. Never admit if it's unintentional. Yeah. That's the thing, like, most of the things that people are critical about when it comes to especially creative endeavors, other people don't notice the stuff that you notice, right? You could be like, this is the worst thing I've ever done. And you'll have other people that are just like, oh my gosh, did you see that? It's so good. And you're just like beating yourself over the head and getting down on yourself about it. Terrible artist, terrible teacher, whatever it is. And you've got other people who are interacting with the content you produce the you know, whatever it is you make, whatever it is you do. And yeah, I mean, this sort of like self-loathing is it's not the best to deal with on a personal level, right? But you gotta understand, like other people don't really know. So Reverb Mike is completely correct. You know, never admit that it's unintentional, because if you don't tell people, they're probably none the wiser. They're just like, oh wow, that's amazing. It's like, yeah, thank you. That's another thing I've kind of learned is like, you know, always accept when people give you praise for whatever it is that you're doing. You know, don't dismiss that. Don't dismiss it in front of them, for sure. It's kind of insulting. People oftentimes, if you're a more humble type, right? You're sort of like, oh, you know, like my stuff isn't all that good, whatever. But it's like, you know, it's something. It's what it is, and you have to sort of it's gonna be whatever it is, right? I think you know, when it comes to art, you know, I think Duchamp and some of his peers had the right idea about a lot of stuff, right? Like, if you've got something laying out and you know, it gets some dust on it while the paint's drying, and it, you know, you might say like, that ruins the piece. Now I've got dust in my paint and it's like adhered to it and everything. And somebody like Duchamp looks at it and it's like, oh, well, there we go. That's part of it, you know? And I think it's the same thing with some of this stuff. God, these teeth are driving me nuts. They're too long or something. They're too like, yeah. So there's that one Duchamp piece. I can't remember the name of it. And it's encased in glass, right? And like at one point, the glass broke, like unintentionally. But it makes like, you know, the cool patterns from the broken glass. And you know, he had the right attitude about some of this stuff. Where it's like, you know, there's some things that you as the artist can control, for sure. Like, I can make these teeth different, which I'm going to do because they're driving me nuts. However, there's other things that, you know, perhaps are out of your control. And, you know, maybe it is like you know, some force working in your favor when something like that happens. Right? Yeah, but hello, Graphic Ons. How are you? The part Reverb Mike doesn't like, the client usually likes best. Yeah. And you know, I mean, if you've ever taught, you know, it's like that with students too. Like, they get like hung up on different things. there's certain things that they're like, oh, this is like so great. And then you look at it and you're like, yeah, this is kind of shitty, you know? And like, no, that's the thing I like about it. And it's like, yeah, but it's not good, you know? Whatever. Crooked teeth. Yeah, I mean, they're too straight. Yeah, they're too straight. They're too long. I'm thinking of doing some dentistry and just kind of shaving them up a little bit. So let's do that right now, actually. And here's something interesting that I just realized. So usually when I'm working in fresco, I usually work in multiple layers. I've usually got a bunch of different layers going on. I've only got one layer right here, which is pretty weird for me to only have a single layer. I mean, I think this is important too. Like, you know, I just blew away all those teeth. But, oh God, why does it look so... This is driving me nuts. I gotta redo them. Redo them, Joseph. Oh. Okay. Interesting. So I was not going to give this guy a lower jaw. But now that I've shaved those teeth down to stubs, I think he needs a lower jaw. He needs a mandible. And it's kind of like a little smile here. I'm gonna... Oh, gosh, yeah. Okay. This is good. So let's pull this down a bit.
Six threads drawn together. Six threads drawn apart. Six threads to lead you down.
See that? Hey, that's too small. But we can fix that. So we're just kind of specking things out right now. Maybe it's a little too rounded, a little too big. No problem. There we go.
Six threads drawn together.
I'm liking that better.
Six threads drawn apart.
Man, I really like fresco. Like, you know, I'm very... Even though I'm so, like, embedded with Adobe, you know, I am very critical of, you know, certain decisions and things that happen. And fresco is not one of those things. Fresco has my full support. I love fresco. Anyway, I want to make it known, Adobe. I only criticize because I care. And I do care. If I didn't care, I wouldn't be doing this still, you know? And it's weird, like the different people you work with, like in the community programs and you know, the education side of things and everything. You know, I mean, they don't sometimes understand, I think, where that the criticisms come from a good place, right? Like, they're not meant to be destructive. Like, things... You know, you got two choices when you're giving feedback to anybody. You can be constructive with it, or you can just totally rip them apart, right? I always prefer to be constructive unless the other person's a total jerk. And it's like, yeah, you guys suck. But I tend not to do that because most people are, you know, genuinely like to, you know, are trying. Most people are trying to make things better, no matter what area they're in. And you got to give people that. Because not everything is going to work, right? Not everything's going to work out like people intend it to. Just like these teeth, right? So, giving people that bit of grace, right? Where it's sort of like, okay. Because we've all been in those situations where we try and we try and we try, and there's just no way to do it, right? There's no way to make it work out. It's going to fail no matter what. No matter how much you care, no matter how many resources are behind it, it's a lost cause, whatever that might be. And it's no fault of your own or the people who are working with you on the project. It just wasn't meant to be, and it fails. And it could be seen as a personal failure, but, you know, and sometimes it is, right? Sometimes you mess up and you're like, shoot, well, if I had done this differently or that differently. And that's also valid. Because, yeah, surprise to everyone, human beings are flawed creatures. Right? I like that so much better. Yeah, definitely helps. Yes, we are back. Jaw is very nice. Helps out tremendous. It's a little skinny, but I don't know. Let's do this. So, let's get rid of that. Stop. Go away. Undo. So I mentioned before about only using one layer, so I'm going to use 2 layers. So I'm going to do some shading. Shadows, rather. Sort of behind the skull. One of the tricky things about this, right, is, you know, you look at the skull and it's like, oh yeah, the skull has like, it's white, right? White skull. but it's not. We're seeing that white background through the skull. So if I'm on this layer, right, below it, and I do like that, it's on the layer below it, but we're gonna see it. So we've got the appearance of white, but it's not white. So let's continue. Let's make this larger. Anyway, I can barely remember like what the hell I was talking about. Just coming out there. A little shading, a little shadow. It's going off in different directions, right? Maybe it's a little thicker in some areas. More transparent in others. Hey, what's up? Email. Yeah, I like this guy. He's coming out nice. So he's almost done. You know, just a bit here and there. And we'll call it. So the nose needs a little... Get your nose holes in order, dude. For real. Man, the look of those teeth is neat. So it's just like, it's not even like real teeth, you know? It's like illusory teeth. You know what could help too? Taking just a little bit of this. Right? What a spooky skull. Nubbins. Nubbins. I don't know. Not sure what nubbins means. I like it. I like nubbins. Oh, that helps. Yeah, little things like you build on stuff like this, right? You start out very, very, you know, you start out a certain way. And you just add and add and add layers and layers and little tweaks, little tweaks. Praveen, welcome. I hope you are well today. Yeah, I like having the chat up there. It's fun. And everybody can actually see it. We're usually on Behance, like during the replays and everything. you can't really see that. So people who are watching the replay have no idea like what anybody's responding to when it comes to stuff that comes across in the chat, right? So that I think helps quite a bit, having it like that in the corner. Lawrence, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think we're almost done with this guy. Just finishing up bits and pieces, right? And then we can pop it into Behance and say, well, isn't that wonderful, right? Isn't that? Why, Joseph, what a horrible thing you've made. Yes. And the thing is, right? Like, it's very difficult sometimes to know when you should stop with something like this. Because you can just keep going, and then you overwork it, and you ruin it, right? But that's not going to happen here, because I'm almost done. There's no way I'm going to ruin this sweet bit. Not be overworked. Anyway, it was fun. When I went down to Denver yesterday, right? I take the light rail down there. So we just got a light rail in my area that can go down into downtown Denver from where I live. And it's really convenient, you know. If you want to go downtown, you just hop on the light rail. A very convenient stop, and off you go. It's great. I'm gonna keep this black and white. I'm gonna say this is done. mostly. Just keep tweaking it. Yeah, so I used to work down in Denver when I worked for my previous institution. And, you know, they talked about the light rail coming to my area for the longest time. Pretty much the whole time I was working down there, there was this expectation that, yes, you know, at some point we're going to have a light rail that goes from Thornton down into Denver. And, you know, I very much look forward to it because it's a pain in the ass driving on the freeway all the time, right? So I left that job before I ever got to use the light rail. So it's nice for me to be able to use it now to go to events and things like that. Yes. And I use it whenever, which isn't often. All right, let's go ahead and publish this bad boy to Behance.
Behance project.
You know, gosh, I should probably resize this canvas, right? What? Don't be weird, yo. Let's just publish it. I don't want to goof it up. Publish. There it goes. Right on, everybody. Isn't that fun?
Done.
Do we have a trim feature inside of Fresco? Like Photoshop has, where you can just trim transparent pixels and that sort of jazz? I don't know. It's all good. I mean, this is the nature of things, right? Like this is how a piece of paper would be, right? Like, there's no way that you would crop a piece of paper that you drew something like this on. So I'm going to say it is authentic in that regard, right? All right. Anyhow. Oh, we've been streaming this for 59 minutes and 50 seconds. It'd be a shame if I were to stop it before the hour, right? Yes, it would. So, oh, you know, before I go, I didn't mention it yet today. Here, let me stick my pencil back on here. Just kind of move my iPad back over there. Yeah, I have not mentioned yet today. Let's see, this is the 26th. In 4 days, my book comes out. So this book, let me get my ad up. There we go. So it's Adobe Creative Cloud, Classroom in a Book. So maybe you're familiar with Classroom in a Book, maybe not. They're the leading books on Adobe design software. And yeah, Classroom in a Book, we cover Adobe Creative Cloud. Most every desktop app that's in there. And if you're interested, you can save 35% with code LABREC. So, yes. There's that. All right. So, let's go and call it. We are at 1 hour and 2 minutes just about. So, thanks everyone for joining. Thank you, Dennison and Reverb Mike and Graphic Ons, Praveen, Lawrence, Mahmoud, everybody else. Right on. Bye, everyone.